Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie and welcome back to our Christmas tag series. This is a video collaboration with my very good friend Janice and we are already on week number 4. This week we are featuring the Holiday Express stamp and thin cut set and I can't wait to show you my project. I will be using this pull tab for my tag. Maybe you can see where this project is going. I will be using this great buildable tag set. I'm using this one right here and the little pocket. I did pull from my stash and I'm using leftovers here from the mix-in from the October-December collection. These are the mix-ins right here, and this is from the Christmas Story. And this, of course, is just white cardstock. Now, I do go ahead and I like to stamp a few in bulk if you want. And I put these in my MISTI, I stamp away, I let them dry. Of course, I did use intense black ink because we will be coloring these images with Spectrum Noir markers. I'm also going to bring in this awesome tag set right here. I really like the to and from. I find that it matches my project really well. So let me give you a sneak peek on what we are going to create together. Here is my tag. As I mentioned, I used this one right here for the back side. I've used this awesome stamp set, and with the pull tab, you get to see the entire train set right here. Let me clear off my mat and we are going to build this really awesome tag together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our tag and we're going to extend it. So I'm going to add this on my pattern paper right here. I know that I need this tag to be 5 1/4, so I'm going to give myself a generous amount at the end, just to make sure that I have enough space to extend my tag. And I'm just going to secure this down just with regular washi tape. I am going to add this on my cutting plate and I'm going to push that over the edge. You see how the bottom of the tag is not going to be sandwiched inside and it's not going to cut. So we're going to add this through. So this is step 1. And you can see here that my tag is still attached, but we want to extend that out. And I'm going to measure from the top right here, and I'm going to go at 5 1/4. So 5 1/4, I'm going to add myself a little pencil line. I'm going to come back with my tag, or my die, I should say, and I am going to make sure that you'll feel it kind of slips back into the grooves, hopefully. And then I'm going to push it down to the 5 1/2. I'm going to make sure that it stays in place. And this one here, you want to feed it through, but you don't want to cut. So I'm just going to cut this bottom part. I'm going to add this together. And I'm going to run it in and just run it back. So now you can see that by partially cutting the tag topper, I was able to extend it. I didn't need to extend it all that much, but nonetheless, I needed to extend it. So I'm going to repeat this process for a white tag because because I'm using the pull tab, I'm going to need a backing to this tag right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to talk about these cut pieces in a moment. I want to talk to you about where you're going to add this little opening inside your front tag. Now, this tag measures 5 1/4, and we are going to extend the slider. I didn't extend the slider on this one here, and that's why you see a little bit of the train. So we're going to make it go back a little bit more inside the pocket so that it's almost completely hidden. I don't mind that you see a little bit here, but I'm going to show you how to kind of push this little engine all the way to the back of the tag. What you need to do at this point is we want to add the opening, and I want to make sure that it stops 1 inch from the bottom right here. So at the bottom of the tag opening right here, we're going to add a little pencil mark, and that's going to go down 1 inch. And then here, I am going to divide that by 2. The tag is 2.5, and I'm going to add my center line at 1 1/4, because you definitely want to have the pull hit the middle so that it will go up and down really nicely. So I'm going to mark that off, and I am going to cut this and show you how to extend the slider pull. So we're going to go 1 inch, 1 inch right here from the bottom, so 1 inch, and then my slider pull, where did I put it? So my slider pull here, if I look at my little train, I need another 3/4 of an inch. So from the end of my slider right here, or from the opening, I should say, I'm going to add a little pencil mark at 3/4, I should say. So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to cut once, and then I'm going to move it over, and that's going to extend my tag really, really nicely. Okay, so I've gone ahead here, and I did make a line, and I want to make sure that this is nice and straight. So I'm going to add 2 pieces of washi tape here, just to make sure nothing moves. So I'm going to add one along the edge here. I'm going to run this through, and then I'm going to slide that over. Okay, so let's take a look on the first step. I'm just going to make sure that I don't rip my paper. And so we've got the opening right here, and now we are going to line it up. Let me take the washi tape off so you can see better. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to extend it right here. So I'm going to add it here. I'm going to run it again, and we will have an extended opening. All right. So I've got my extended line right here, and my train hopefully is going to go a little bit further in. Okay, so let me talk you through all of these cut pieces, right? So we used the buildable tag for these 2 pieces right here. We did extend the tag so that it measures 5 1/4. And I did cut this one, which is a pocket that normally goes at the bottom. So you end up with this really good piece that's going to hide my little engine. And I like this pattern paper because there's no real direction, and I'm going to be using it this way. So I liked that I could do that. And I did end up keeping the little heart that cuts out of this. This goes right here, and I'm going to use that at the back of my tag. So let's start building our tag. The next thing that I did cut here the pull tab and the little sleeve. So I did use the slider piece for the opening. So this piece here comes with score lines. So we're just going to fold on the score line, just like so. I am going to use my bone folder to make sure that it's nice and flat. So I'm going to open that up right here. Now, every time I've made a pull card or something like that, I have used cardstock. This is pattern paper, so just to make sure that it's nice and stable, I'm going to add a reinforcement in here. And I'm just going to add this piece in the center just to give it a little bit more stability. I just feel that it needs to be a little bit more stable. I'm going to add that all the way down, and I'm going to add this little piece. And even if it doesn't go all the way, that's okay because we end up cutting this. Let me add some glue first. Just want to make sure that everything is tacked down nice and secure. So I'm going to really burnish that in. And this instantly makes the pull tab nice and sturdy because we've extended this quite a bit. So here on your pull tab, like this little part, there's some score lines. So you're going to fold those up like so. And then you're going to fold them back. So up and then back. So it creates like a little area. Right? It creates a little area. This is where I'm going to add my little train. So this actually goes this way. So the other thing I found about this tag is that this was a little bit bland. Like there was not much going on back there. And I did some stash diving, and I thought that adding a couple of trees in the back would make it look really cute. So we're going to go here because we see that. So one. So I want to add on to my scene, and I think that by adding a little bit of splatters in this very light color, it's almost like a white silvery color, it's either going to look like snow or stars. I'm just going to make sure that I saturate my brush nicely. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I think that that really is going to add to the tag. Now, definitely you don't have to do all of these details, but I just want to show you different options, and this could definitely be for baby's first Christmas or something like that. But I think this scene at the back is going to look really pretty. So I'm going to let that dry before I move on to the next phase of this assembly. So I think this is a really good time to start coloring the little train, and I'm going to speed through this process, but I just want to show you how I colored all of these images in. Okay, so we're going to start here with the dark red blend, and the front engine here is going to be done up all in red, and I'm adding shadows underneath, I guess, the metal parts if you want. And when I started here, I thought I was actually using the darkest shade of the three, and I wasn't. I went in with the medium shade, but you can definitely just go in with the dark shade and then blend out with the mid, and you can see that it blends out really, really nicely. And then I finish it off with a little bit of the lightest shade, and that's pretty much it for the red for this engine right here. So I'm just gonna kind of blend that out. And I really like the red. I really like the way that it pops. So the next element that I'm going to color on this is like the metal parts. And those are all done in the brown gray blend. And the reason why is because I wanted it to match the pattern paper that I'm using. So I think that it matches nicely. And I start off with the light shade, and then I'm just adding shadows all on the right hand side, and then I blend out with the mid. So I usually start with the lightest tone, and then here you can see me flipping over to the darkest tone and then just mixing them up in the center to give a nice blend. I do go back with the darkest shade here just to give it a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to move here to the little wheels at the bottom, and those are all done in the ice gray blend, starting off with the light shade and mid, and then I'm going in with the darkest shade. All of the shadows are all on the same side, so it's the lightest is coming from the left, and then I'm putting the darkest shades on to the right. But honestly, I don't think people pay that much attention to it. I try and be consistent, but sometimes I fall off the tracks. No pun intended. So here you see I'm going to finish this off pretty quickly. I'm adding a little bit of the lightest shade at the bottom, the mid in the middle, and then I'm coming back in with the darkest tone. This here is the ice gray shades, and it's the darkest one. So I didn't want to use black. I felt that black was a little bit too harsh. So I'm doing the outside of the wheels and then the bottom track. I kind of felt like that should have been like a metal piece or something like that. And we're going to quickly move on to decorating. So that kind of looked like a candy cane to me. So I'm barely touching all of those little areas. They are very, very tiny with the lightest shade of the dark red blend. And then I'm adding a little bit of shadow using the True Blue blend just to make it look more like a window. So I decided to add my other two, so the middle train and the caboose are all going to be done in the vintage blue blend, and I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm adding the darkest shade right underneath, and then I added, actually for this one, because it's in the center, I added the darkest shades on the left and on the right. I'm repeating the same process for the wheels. So this is another good reason why I stamp them all together, because when you start coloring them, you'll probably not lose your way because you're looking at all of the images at the same time. So you're going to keep, hopefully, your shadows going from left to right or from right to left, depending on how you start it all off. And here, when I'm adding the kind of candy cane stripe, I find that it pops a lot against the vintage blue, and it looks really, really nice. So for the little presents, I'm using the green turquoise blend, and it's quite bright. So I've done this before where I start with a color and then I add the missing color, which in this case was a little bit of brown gray blend, and it just tones down that color and it just makes it look similar to the pattern paper I am using. So I'm just going to quickly color these guys in. So that's how they all came together. Hopefully this will help you when you start coloring your images. And we're going to move on now to the assembly. So I'm going to die cut these, and the fun part is that because I have all these, the different ones, I can cut them all in one pass. We're going to start building our tag. So we're going to start by putting this together, right? So we're going to fold these just like so, right? I'm just going to burnish, burnish, burnish. And I like to fold this one over, because I find that things don't get caught on it. So that's just me. So this is gonna go right here. See, I like that. Alrighty, so we're gonna add a little bit of glue, right? Or a lot, whatever. I'm gonna fold this in. And I'm going to make sure to press it down, right? And then this goes here. Okay, so we're going to use this. We're going to put our pull. So we are going to feed that through, just like so. So that's going to pull. And then we are going to pinch this and put it through here, right? So this pulls all the way now. All right. So for the train, we're going to put the caboose at the end. we're going to put this guy here and this guy, right? We want him to kind of come all the way out. So because I have a hole here, I have to be mindful of that. So I'm going to put glue here, here, and here, right? I'm going to add some glue on the edge. I'm going to leave the center without glue. I'm just going to trim off a little bit of the white, right? Just so that we can kind of put it nice and close. I am going to tuck this nice and close, and then here I am going to use a glue dot to add my little train. So I'm going to just pop that right on. I'm just going to push it in with my nail, right? And we are going to line up the little train. Ooh, we still see that, but that's okay. We are going to add our little gifts here. I'm going to pull you off gently because I totally forgot, and this is a Janice trick. I'm going to cut this with an X-Acto knife. So I am going to cut right above the line with my X-Acto knife. My cutting mat is on the side here, so I'm going to do it here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cut a little slit where the little gifts are going to fall in, just like so. And I am going to flip that over, and I'm just going to secure that with tape. Isn't that cute? We are going to add this piece, right? So once this is all the way in, I want to add this piece here. So I am going to put these two together so that they are exactly the same. And I'm just going to use my gel pen. And I am going to hide a little piece right here. I need to cover this backside like so, right? So we are going to just add glue. You don't want to put any down here. And I'm going to put him here. So I'm going to trim that. I'm going to put him here. So I think I'm going to trim that right kind of here. Okey-doke. And I am going to add glue on both sides. Do you know what I like about that? There's a little arrow that points that way. So that is cute. I'm going to lift my little heart because this plays double duty, right? I'm going to straighten this out. Right, like so. And I'm going to use something a little bit more secure than just double-sided tape. All right. I knew I wanted to add this, but I forgot. So we're going to add this. And we're going to add this on top of it. Okay, so this is the final reveal, and I made one change. When you flip the tag, I flipped the direction of the to and the from. Now, I wasn't able to do it for this part right here, so maybe you would like to keep that white instead of stamping it on both sides. Well, that's it for me for this month. I'll be signing off and letting Janice take you through the month of November and possibly December. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Now head on over to Chelsey's channel and see what she's created with this beautiful holiday expression train set. Bye for now.